MLS Aces Podcast. This is your host, Tom Sweezy, joined once again by Jason Vivang for episode 343. Jason, happy Open Cup quarterfinal makeup day that might get rained out again.
It's going to get rained out, I think, unfortunately.
I am living in New Jersey, pretty not that close to Philly, but in the general area near Philly and where the Red Bulls play, and there's a peak of the clouds kind of opening up to some sunlight, but I'm not too
I have it on. I have it ready to go if they do want to play some soccer tonight.
Yes, and I have the Whitecaps First Forge FC on my TV until we get any type of chance that Philly
keep us updated.
Yes, Toots. It's honestly pretty good game, and we'll dive a little bit into where the Canadian Championship and Open Cup stands at this point. But Jason, just when you think we could not talk about transfers, when it's Mueller confirmed, Heung-min Son confirmed. By the way, people on YouTube absolutely hate us for our Heung-min Son conversation last week. Love it.
Why?
Apparently, we're idiot Americans that don't know anything about the Premier League and blah, blah, blah.
Now I want to look at the comments. What did we say?
I think it was the comment. Remember when we went back and forth and I said Heung-min Son was like a top 5 player globally?
Oh, yeah.
You said not globally. Oh, look, just like with Lionel Messi, you put his name in the description or a title of a podcast.
144 views. Oh, my God.
I'm going to say the South Korean population really blew up and watched that and absolutely hate our take, which I don't even know if it was our take because we had a lot of positives to say, and Heung-min Son had a very awesome debut for LAFC. But I don't know. Maybe we just...
Oh, they did not like it.
We came across as stupid Americans, I guess. I don't know. It's fine.
They were not happy with us. Well, you know what? Engagement. Love it.
Yeah, talk shit all you want.
I'm sorry I said Son is not a top 5 Premier League player ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would even openly say that, but So yeah, maybe hate that take. That's fine. Hate that take.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's cool. He's a global star. He's one of the best I've ever seen with my eyes on the TV, and I'm excited.
I feel like we made it clear we were happy he was coming to
MLS
for LAFC.
We're stupid. Okay, we're stupid, Jason. Stop.
I was pretty pumped about that move.
Well, look, I'm wearing my Vancouver Whitecaps jersey tonight. I forgot which side the badge was on. One, because there are people tracking Thomas Mueller's flight to Vancouver.
I love those people. Oh my God, dude. The people who track flights are the best.
He's on his way. He's on his way to Vancouver, and the Whitecaps. I really want to see Thomas Mueller lift the Canadian Championship trophy, so I really need them to beat Forge. It's 2 legs, but
I also picked them to win this tournament, so I really.
So we're all Whitecaps on this podcast still from the season's beginning.
I mean, they're only MLS team left in that tournament. So
yeah, fair.
Yes, we are all Whitecaps.
All right. Well, let's dive into some transfers, Jason, because like I was starting with is. I thought all the transfer drama was going to end, and apparently not. We touched a little bit on the Djordje Mihailovic stuff last week when it was more just reporting and not official. But officially, Toronto FC have acquired Djordje Mihailovic from the Colorado Rapids for $8 million, with the potential for another $1 million in add-ons, a sell-on percentage, and this is the second highest cash trade in MLS history at this point. There's already been 10 players traded for cash, which is kind of...
I like this new change, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Also, it's like big name players. It's not like nobodies that are usually, for the most part.
It's not like fucking... Who am I going to call out? It's not like...
Yeah, be careful here.
We
don't need more people coming to the comments.
That's fine. It's not like Daniel Rios got traded from the Whitecaps to the San Diego FC for $200,000.
Pull a team that the fans know we care about them.
I don't know if that's anyone at this point, Jason. I'll be honest. I feel like we've burned a lot of bridges, but Djordje Mihailovic.
That's all we do on here, but we love it. We have friends of the pod all over the place.
Exactly.
Darren Yappy.
You
didn't even. So okay, wait. Backstory for the listeners. Darren Yappy had a man of the match, 2-goal performance for Colorado this past weekend.
Yeah.
A great performance. Honestly, like against a good Minnesota team. And Tom just completely ignored me when I told him about this. And that I have been on this guy forever. He's only 20, dude.
I'm not sold on Darren Yappy.
He's 20 years old. You don't have to be sold.
I've lost my faith.
No, don't even. You can't lose your faith in someone that's 20 years old.
Can I say my positive, and I'll tie it into Djordje Mihailovic? This was the Rapids' first game in the post-Djordje era, and someone needed to step up to show.
You're gonna be so mad when Yappy just becomes a superstar.
I want it, but I'm saying someone needed to step up in light of their star player gone. And yeah, Darren Yappy steps up with a brace against Minnesota. Do I think this is replicable and we're going to see this every week? No, but
of course not. But my point is, maybe they unlock something with him. Okay, maybe. I don't know. It feels like he should be 25 years old at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean it's 100% true. He's a guy we've been talking about for forever.
Not everyone's been talking about him.
Well, sorry, you've been talking about for forever in this.
I will say, if he ends up being really good, I am going to be insufferable.
I mean, you should 100%. You should. Just like I don't know the last player I've gotten I've been super high on that I feel like many other people haven't. So maybe I need to find one of those soon. I'll poke around my brain when we talk about this. But yeah, Djordje Mihailovic,
actually a beast.
Djordje Mihailovic kicking off a new era of Toronto FC. Rapids still trying to figure some things out. Toronto also traded Matty Longstaff to CF Montreal for Jules Anthony Vilsaint, a little random Canadian trade there. Jason, one move. Well, I'll just quickly go to the Rapids and get those out of the way since we've already been talking Rapids, so let's stick Rapids. Colorado Rapids, they have signed a new winger in Alexis Manyoma on loan from Estudiantes in Argentina. Manyoma is going to be a U22 signing. It is a loan deal with the option to purchase. He is a current Colombian youth international. Already 115 games under his belt at 22 years old. Career 21 goal contributions, and he played 15 games last season for Estudiantes. And then the Rapids also announced today the signing of current Australian youth international center back Lucas Harrington. He's an 18-year-old center back who broke into the Brisbane Roar first team last season, 18 games played with 1 goal. And has been a part of a pretty strong Australian U20 side that's been doing well in Asian competition. So yeah, Rapids rebuilding a roster after losing Djordje. They go out, Darren Yappy brace on the weekend. Pretty maybe an okay feeling around the Rapids that I didn't have last week.
I honestly feel like, especially now, just looking at their roster, not horrible about it. They don't have the guy or the player that's going to carry them, which you kind of need in MLS. You need 1 or 2 guys basically like that. But their roster has decent players at most positions. Not all positions, but most positions.
Yeah, look, I think Sam Vines and Reggie Cannon's return to MLS has been mixed. We don't know what Rob Holding's going to look like. I think Cole Bassett's still a stud. Connor Ronan, stud. Josh Atencio, stud. And with the reports swirling that Rafael Navaju's pretty much gone this offseason, they're still going to need to do work.
Yeah. They're going to need I like some of their attacking players, like Yappy, obviously, and Teddy Ku DiPietro, but I don't know if they're starter every week 90-minute guys.
Yeah.
I think they need to just build a little bit in their attack with some people who are going to be playing 90 minutes.
It is like we said last week about Colorado. Classic. You had the team somewhat built.
You had it, man.
And now you're even more pieces away. But whatever. So shout out the Rapids. They did beat Minnesota. Darren Yappy brace was big. Anything else about that game that we wanted to mention, or that's kind of, I guess.
I think it's a big win for Colorado overall because they're on that edge still. And it's a huge loss for Minnesota. There was like a lot of, I guess, mainly in the East, I feel like when we get to that conversation, because we love talking about that top of the East, but the West is getting a little more interesting.
Yeah, the West is going to be like when we have to do our decision day preview, it is going to be a fucking mess. And I'm not ready.
Like right now, everyone's like there's like no one really tied on points until you get to LAFC and Portland, but it's going to get tight.
Yeah. And I mean, look, currently, right, like just to give the listeners a little bit of a scope of it, Minnesota after this loss are third in the West on 44 points. The Rapids are eighth in the West on 33 points. Like 11 points separate a 5-team difference.
There's also a lot of teams on different amounts of games played. Like we have Vancouver on 25 when, San Diego and Minnesota are on 26. Then you have Seattle 25, LAFC 23, Portland 25, Austin 24. So a lot's going to change because like what you're saying, when we get to decision day, we're going to be on the same number of games and we're going to have a much clearer idea of where these teams actually are.
When we get to decision day, I guess we'll see whatever.
I mean, if Seattle wins their game in hand, they're now tied with Minnesota. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Exactly, and Seattle's look good, and they're kicking off at the right time, and all that fun stuff. Let's go to a team that I will say hasn't lost since we've had a certain player on the podcast, and that's FC Dallas. And maybe FC Dallas even won in this transfer. They have transferred away DP attacking midfielder and former MLS MVP Lucho Acosta to Brazilian club Fluminense for $4 million with the potential for more add-ons in that deal. The 31-year-old, like I said, former MLS MVP, Supporter Shield winner in this league, had 7 goals and 1 assist for Dallas this season. Did not look like the same, Lucho that we know, and I think people are starting to love less around Major League Soccer. But look, it's another Lucho transfer drama. We're not going to run through all the details of it, but personally, Dallas lost about $1 million in the transfer of Lucho. It didn't work out with him and Petar Musa on the same field. And I think for Dallas, they'll probably be able to move forward in a better spot without Lucho kind of causing maybe more drama behind the scenes.
I think that's like my biggest thing is how many times have we been down this road? Like, what is wrong? What is going on? Didn't he want this move? Like, I don't.
Apparently. Well, apparently not, actually.
I mean, I guess not, but like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, at a certain point, he's the problem, obviously. And like, I don't think that's like a hot take. I just think like, sure, they lost probably about $1 million on this, but it's probably $1 million they have no problem losing in the grand scheme of things because it wasn't really working. And I don't think they were like, I mean, obviously the off field or whatever was going on was bad enough where they were willing to do this. And honestly, recouping like 80%, if not more, with add-ons is not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a chance. I don't know what those add-ons look like, right? That add-on could be another $1 million, and you break even, and you just call it a wash. And it was.
I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, "Damn, they sold him for less." But like, really, when you think about it, they might be better off.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And look, Dallas have been making moves this window. They made moves last window. In the off season. This seems to me like Eric Quill's building the team that he wants. To me, though, it's just like, look, it's another rebuild for Dallas. I don't think Petar Musa is going to be in Dallas much longer with how much he's scoring. I would probably say the same for Martin Pass and Net. I like a lot of their pieces. It's just there's still way too many question marks and holds for me to have extreme confidence in FC Dallas right now. But like I said, they've been winning games. They won 2-0 on the weekend against the Portland Timbers. It was in Dallas. Petar Musa scored his 13th goal of the season. Dallas's goalkeeper was not Martin Pass in this game. It was Michael Collodi, their backup. He had 3 big saves in the shutout. Timbers, they're fallen apart a little bit in terms of maybe some off the field drama that we'll talk about in a second, and kind of crashing out of Leagues Cup after a pretty good showing and probably could dive deeper into our League's Cup, only 4 teams make it conversation. But Dallas is playing okay in recent weeks, and I am leaning onto a little bit of faith with them, but I don't think I should be. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge win for them, I guess, but based on standings. But I mean, I could see them getting into a playoff spot.
That's more what I'm saying.
At least in like the play-in.
Yeah.
Based on these teams above them, like, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think like their peak is like 7th, which is like not bad.
I don't want anyone to mistake what I just said, as in I think Dallas are like gonna be shoo-ins for the playoffs and like run to MLS Cup. I think
you use this as like a build off of some good performances, bring some guys in, get some guys healthy, and see what you can be.
And if you're Eric Quill year 1, you can say you made the playoffs, made the play-in game, whatever, and then next year let's do more. Next year let's do better. Next year let's find our DP10 and let's be a better FC Dallas than what we've seen. So maybe.
I mean, I think they're in the position to like kind of like Colorado. They have like good players, but they need the guys, And like you said, if Petar Musa leaves or things change, like they need somebody to kind of take up those goal scoring reins.
Yeah. And I mean, they have a lot of fun pieces, but
I'm sure there's some kids on their team too that are going to be good. So
I mean, look, their only left back on the roster, only like true left back on the roster right now is a homegrown kid. So we will.
I'm just sad Nolan Norris got injured, man.
I know.
Upset about that.
You think he was your pick for like a young player to
It was Elijah Winder, but I think he was he was definitely one of my picks to like do well. I can't remember what it was for though.
Okay. We'll look back at it when the time comes.
But I do know Elijah Winder has not been as good as I hoped.
No. Sorry, Elijah. But it has been a bit of a rough. I mean, the Galaxy have been rough, so I'm not going to completely throw that blame on him there.
What did you say?
I said the Galaxy have been.
Oh
rough,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's not just on him.
Not thrown into the best situation, that's for sure.
All right, and let's go to the Timbers that we were just talking about. So the Timbers have officially transferred away winger Santiago Moreno to Fluminense. Fluminense coming back and spending their money in MLS this window, apparently, for a reported fee from Tom Bogert of around $6 million. This all comes with Santiago Moreno having his own off-the-field drama, apparently going, and this is not anything new, this has been reported by Bogert and a few others around U.S. soccer, apparently going to general manager Ned Grabavoy with his suitcase saying, I'm getting on a plane, accept the transfer to Fluminense, and I'm never coming back kind of deal. And apparently he did that, and he was on the plane during their last League's Cup game. And he did... ultimately, I think there was probably some behind-the-scenes conversations because ultimately the Fluminense increased the offer from $4 million to $6 million, and the Timbers accepted the $6 million deal. So I guess everyone got what they wanted. Timbers got their second.
I mean, I'm sure the Timbers weren't like thrilled, but getting $6 million is a good deal there. I think.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, they brought in a new player. Let's just move.
I was gonna say, well. I want to give Santi Moreno his love because I do actually think he was a very good Timbers player.
It surprised me, actually, when I started looking at his Timbers stats. I was like, wow, this is a lot better than I remembered.
This is just MLS era, so I will say that. Obviously, the Timbers are one of the more historic clubs in U.S. soccer, but for their MLS era, he finishes 11th all-time in appearances, 11th all-time in goals, 3rd all-time in assists, and I think he's like, with that, I think from off the top of my head, he was like top 5 in total goal contributions as well. But yes, Santiago Moreno, his time in MLS and with the Portland Timbers is done. I'll say a very good player for the Portland Timbers. But to your point, Jason, they did sign a new winger. What did you say?
Replacement right away.
Well, apparently his name is Kristoffer Velde. He's apparently the replacement for Jonathan Rodriguez, who was put on the season-ending injury list earlier this year from, the actual, I guess, like planning out of transfers. But yes, a winger replacement nonetheless. So Kristoffer Velde, he is coming on a DP deal from Olympiacos. Velde is a 25-year-old Norwegian international. He's won cap for Norway. The reported fee was $5 million for him. He's a Greek First Division champion, a two-time Polish First Division champion, a Greek Cup champion. Last year, he had 6 goals and 2 assists for Olympiacos across his 33 games played. And he has over 100 career goal contributions in 250 games. He's clearly an experienced player, clearly maybe not really in the plans for Olympiacos moving forward. And, the Timbers added what seems to be a decent DP profile to their club.
Yeah, and at the age of 25, definitely a lot of potential to be there for a while in his prime. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add. He seems like a great player. I think I'm curious to see how it all fits together. I guess Phil Neville's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, Phil Neville is adding another DP to this team.
Look, they're like playing with house money, I feel like, based on how we felt about them going into the season and the general views of Portland. They're in a spot to really get a good result this year and then play that into some really good spots next year.
The Timbers are one that I'm really stuck on, and maybe you can help me unstuck myself with it. I didn't think they played bad in Leagues Cup, and I think there's moments this year.
I mean, they barely allowed any goals, which is crazy because I feel like that's one of their issues.
100, well, not anymore apparently, but they still have allowed a decent amount of goals this year.
They have a negative goal differential.
Yeah, it's not great there, but it's better than last year. So we'll also.
I mean, most teams in the West have a negative goal differential.
It's
almost that's actually crazy when you look at that. Almost like everyone in the West outside of the top 5, 6 teams. Well, I guess San Jose somehow is a positive, but
I mean, I just think the West is kind of a clusterfuck. But the Timbers are a team I think they're good. I think there's a lot of good pieces. And if you told me the Timbers went on a playoff run, I honestly wouldn't be surprised with them.
An Atlanta type playoff run from last year.
I mean, maybe even better than that, to be honest.
I mean, Atlanta maybe
like a Red Bull
Cup.
I was gonna say
I guess Red Bull. Yeah, okay.
A Red Bull-esque MLS Cup run. I could see it, and it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it just goes back to the fact that the West is really wide open. I do think that's true, but it's mainly because I just don't have a lot of faith in picking my favorite West team right now. Sure, I could probably pick my top 2, 3-ish, but they're not far enough ahead of the other clubs. So
no, I mean, look, I don't know with the West, and that's why I say I think the Timbers could make a run. I think the Timbers could also crash out of the playoffs in one round, and we never really talk about them until next year when we're like, oh yeah, the Timbers were kind of good, and then that's how I view what the Portland.
My fear is they're gonna have the Timbers are great, and then in a year they're gonna be so bad.
Yeah, David Acosta's ass.
I just feel like it happens a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think we need to give credit where credit's due. Phil Neville's done a good job so far with this Timbers team. They don't just give me the full confidence piece, I guess. So that's where I'll leave that. I
mean, I'm the same way. I feel like the Timbers are one of those teams that when they win, I'm like, oh, nice. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Or it's David Acosta had a goal and an assist, and the Timbers won 2-1. Oh, okay, cool. That's pretty fitting at this point. Well, whatever. Let's move on. Charlotte FC.
We took so long to get to this move. I've been dying to talk about it.
Oh, sorry. Charlotte FC. They've acquired goalkeeper Drake Callender from Inter Miami. This is not official yet, but this is being reported by Tom Bogert, so it's as official as it's going to be besides the clubs announcing it. Callender was apparently not consulted on this deal during the whole process, and according to reports from Bogert, surprised about his destination being Charlotte FC. Yeah, there's a few opinions I have, but I'll let you go first, sir.
I mean, I feel like he was done kind of dirty by Miami, if that's truly the case. Very dirty, especially with I believe he played very well for them.
Can I just say quickly on that point? It's 2025. Players should have communications on where they're going, and
also get why he was somewhat confused by the destination, because I think I was as well. And I don't know, you might have been as well. I feel like we talked about it a little, but
Yeah.
There's something going on, right? Like, I think Christian Kalina, and I'm sure you'll talk about it too, is like maybe not there next year. I don't really know, but I personally have always rated Drake Callender. I think he's a good keeper. I think he's a starter at MLS for sure. I want him to be a starter in the MLS. I want him to be in the conversation with the US team. Like, I feel like when he plays consistently, he's a good goalkeeper and one of like probably in the top third of the league in keepers. And I personally think he's better than Ustari. I'll say it, but
I mean, I'm not going to say you're throwing that much of a hot take around there. Drake Callender is a younger. I mean, have you seen Oscar Ustari the last handful of games for Miami? Looks like a almost 40-year-old goalkeeper in that.
He's not bad. Like, he has his moments, but I feel like he has some moments where I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, how did you not? He got beat this last week, that Orlando game. I should have pulled up the whole game, but like, he got beat so badly by, I think it was Pasalic on that goal.
He got beat multiple. It was the third goal, but he got.
But you know what I'm talking about, where he makes a nice save, and then Pasalic just kind of sneaks it into the corner somehow, and I'm like, how did you get beat here? Like,
I mean, I will also say, maybe to be a little fair to Oscar Ustari, I'm just kidding. The Inter Miami center back situation does not allow.
Oh my God.
He's thriving whatsoever.
I think we'll get to that. I do want to talk about the game, so we'll wait for that game. But anyway, the Drake Callender thing, I am hopeful that he gets a starting spot. I also want to talk about the Charlotte game eventually, but I think there's got to be something with Christian Kalina, and I don't know what you think, but like, it doesn't make sense to have Drake Callender and Christian Kalina, because Christian Kalina at his top is incredible, which he was on Sunday.
Drake Callender has been one of the best backup goalkeepers in all of MLS, and it looks like, yes, for 2025, he'll continue to be the best backup goalkeeper in all of MLS. I don't know anything. This is just my gut, my opinion, telling me that a 33-year-old Christian Kalina probably understands his career is closer to the end than the beginning. And
that's not that old for a keeper, though. Like,
I
think that's because like, we texted about that, and you were saying the same thing, and I agree. Like, I could see him not in MLS or going home or wherever, or going to Europe, because he's really good. Maybe he has a few years at a top club somewhere.
For sure. I'm saying maybe it's like, look, whenever we get guys coming over from Europe, we always hear the cases of the family's not happy. Their time is kind of like ran out in the U.S., kind of whatever it may be. Yeah. Maybe it's a case of Kalina's homesick. Something's going on with his family. He wants to play his last half decade.
If that's the case, like, I'm totally fine with it. I just personally, obviously we don't know anything, but like, I'm hoping that is the case. Like, as much as I love seeing Christian Kalina in MLS and seeing him dominate and have great performances, I simply am not okay watching Drake Callender sit on the bench for his whole career, because that's ridiculous.
I'll also say this. It could very well be a case where Charlotte FC got an unbelievable deal on Drake Callender. Like, when when the deal becomes official, I would love to see, like, Charlotte FC acquires Drake Callender for like 100,000 of GAM and like move like.
There's no way. If it's got to be like, I don't know. I don't even know. It's $1 million.
I would say it's more than that. I'm just being a dick, but I'm saying, like, I think Charlotte pulled the trigger for a reason, whether it was an unbelievable deal or whether they know Christian Kalina is gone sooner rather than later. There has to be something.
Well, yeah, because there's really not a reason to have Kalina and Callender.
No.
Like, I mean, realistically, on your roster, that I don't know why Callender would. I mean, I guess he didn't know, so it's not like he wanted to go there. But I think he starts for probably, I mean, off the top of my head, probably like at least 20 clubs. Maybe
that's what I was about to say. Is
25.
If you look at all of the clubs in MLS, most clubs have their keeper situation figured out. right now, and probably for 2026 and beyond. So that's why my brain.
Now I want to go through the teams. Like,
well, your team is a big one that may not have one for the long term if Brady.
True. If Brady leaves, I mean, I'm convinced at this point they're just printing them in the academy, so we might be fine. But like Atlanta could have used a Drake Callender.
I mean, sure. I'm not saying there's
could have probably used Drake Callender. I like Brad Stuver.
Brad Stuver is a dude that, like, if he was like 5 years younger, I love Brad Stuver. You get out of here. You get out of here.
Okay, DC.
Fair, yeah.
I'm going through the Houston, maybe.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
No, John.
I like Pulskamp. Yeah.
Pulskamp is young enough.
Galaxy they're probably fine.
I mean, I personally think, sure, there's a handful of teams that Callender could have gone to right away and started in 2025. I don't know. Again, maybe Charlotte got a good deal. And
I mean, also, if Kalina's gone, it's a really good opportunity and a really good place to be right now.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I think in the end, it might really work out for his career. I just really hope that we don't go into this is like 2027 with him still on the bench.
I will also just say this about this entire situation. This is how a club and a front office really begins to get a bad reputation. Like, Inter Miami, you can't just build an entire whole roster of non-Americans and Lionel Messi buddies. Like, there was already a reputation that, like, Inter Miami, like, fucks over their American players for the most part. And I mean, Julian Gressel, that situation sucked. Drake Callender, this situation sucks for him. Like, it's not like there's.
I mean, it's a bad reputation, one that I don't think they care at the moment because they just got DePaul basically because they're Miami and they have Messi, and as long as you have Messi, you're probably going to get whoever you want. But I don't know. I don't know if it really is going to affect them that badly long term.
I think
in the fans' eyes, like of other teams, which I mean, I think a lot of people don't like Miami already, but I think it's just one of those. I don't know. If I'm Charlotte, I'm like, hey, thanks. You know?
No, I think. Look, I'm saying if you're an American player and Inter Miami is asking you to come play, I can see a case where you're like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna go sign with RSL because.
But the post Messi era, do you think that's gonna stay?
Maybe depends on how closely Lionel Messi's still involved.
Involved with the club, yeah.
Like really, that's true. You know, he'll pull players for the rest of time as long as he's somewhat involved in the club. To wrap up Charlotte really quick, they also signed a striker in Australian Youth International, Archie Goodwin. Signed him from Adelaide United for Tom Bogert reporting a $2 million fee. 21 goals in 72 first-team games in his career. He had 13 goals for Adelaide United last year in the A-League. Let's keep the transfer talk going, Jason. Chicago Fire. So they loaned Amari Glasgow to Loudoun United in the USL Championship, opening up an international roster spot so that they could sign attacking midfielder Andre Fracno from FC Porto. It is a loan deal. There is an option to buy, and according to reports, if they do decide to buy, he would be a DP. He's won a ton over in Portugal, but he has not played too much for Porto since making the move. Jason, tell me as a Chicago Fire fan how you're feeling.
I mean, I think given the parameters of the deal, I'm feeling very good about it. Given the stats that I was looking up midday today, I was a little not super thrilled because it's not it's not like they're not stats of someone who I would put as a DP, I guess. I think last season or this current season he has only like 450 minutes played, which tells me he's not really in their plans, like you said. And that might just be the only problem there. Like in this move might really help him and revitalize him, which I totally think like the talent is definitely there. I think for me, bringing him in as on the loan deal with an option to buy and then make him a DP is kind of like the reason this is worth it, because there's very little risk and there's a very high potential reward. If it was just a straight DP deal, I think we would be talking about this like why, and be a little concerned. And obviously, we don't know where Brian Gutierrez eventually ends up. Like, of course, I want him in Chicago forever, but he's too good and probably deserves a move somewhere. But I mean, if this is the Brian Gutierrez replacement, and we get basically 10-game trial run, maybe a playoff game out of it, I am curious to see how he plays. Since Greg has come in, he's been very intentional about a lot of his moves, and it seems like he has his vision. So I'm going to back him here and say, like, I am excited about it. I'm just definitely, it was not jumping off the page when I first started looking at his profile.
To me, it reminds me of when the Rapids brought in Rafael Navajo, right? Like, he was a striker who didn't score a bunch at all down in Brazil or Argentina. I don't remember specifically. He comes to the Rapids on a loan deal. They have an option to buy, but if they buy, it's a DP, right? And then Navajo starts scoring a bunch for the Rapids. It works out. It's a trial run for a DP almost.
I mean, it's a really good, like, I'm kind of surprised we don't see this type of deal more often. I mean, it's probably harder to secure, but it's like pretty low risk. So, like, if it doesn't work out and he ends up being bad, like, no.
I think that's the reason probably why you don't see it, is because, like, you don't want to just keep, like, trialing players for the most part.
Well, especially because it takes some time for players to adjust.
Like, Navajo didn't start scoring until, like, the
second. But I think you, in training and in some of the game time, even if they're not producing, you can kind of get an idea of what their abilities are.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, look.
But yeah, overall, I think I like it. I'm excited to see what he can do, and I want him to start playing immediately.
No, that's fair. Look, I think you're correct. It's the let's test run a new 10 with the expectation that Brian Gutierrez gets sold this winter. The only thing I want to throw out there about Andre Fracno is in the 2021-22 season, he was playing in the Portuguese top division for Estoril Praia. He had 11 goals and 4 assists in 38 games, and then that was the season that that off season was the one that he made the jump to Porto, and that's where his minutes have been limited. So, look, maybe Porto just wasn't his club, and he can go back to being a pretty good number 10. But
well, and there's probably a lot more competition at Porto for his number 10 spot.
I would also agree with that. Maybe, and look, this gives the Fire some flexibility. Maybe for a run, maybe Guti bumps out to the wing, and Fracno gets the 10, and all.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not totally convinced Guti's best position is the attacking mid. So
I agree. That's a whole other conversation.
It's a larger conversation, and I think he's young and good enough to get there. But I think let's see how they use it and how they, who comes off the bench and when and who shifts, and it's a process. We haven't made the playoffs in a decade, so it's definitely a process. But it's going in the right direction, and this move is just another right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with you. I'm going to run through these last few transfers, and then let's talk games, Jason. So Orlando City, they've signed left back, center back Adrian Marine from Portuguese club Braga. Definitely a good fit into Pareja's system from tactically what I've been reading and seeing about him. The San Jose Earthquakes, they've signed defensive midfielder Ronaldo Vieira from Italian Serie B side Sampdoria. Great name for soccer, Ronaldo Vieira. Like, I'm surprised this dude isn't playing in the Serie A. Sporting Kansas City, they've waived center back Danny Rosero. Toronto FC, they've loaned striker Charlie Sharp to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And LAFC officially move on from Mario Gonzalez. If any of you remember that name, sending him on a free transfer to La Liga 2 side Burgos CF. Jason, Timothy Weah, we didn't get to really talk about it on the podcast when it got announced, so we can quickly just give our thoughts, but he is moving on loan from Juventus to Marseille. I think there's an obligation to buy. I don't even think it's an option to buy, so I think Marseille have to buy him.
Ocho is the weirdest Like, what? It's so weird to me.
Just buy the player. I mean, I guess. I'm sure there's
like there's got to be some type of contract negotiation for that
100%.
to be worthwhile, but it's just so weird.
So in the season leading up to the World Cup, right, Timothy Weah making a move to a club where I'm assuming he feels like he can play more, get more minutes, and get back to, I mean, in Ligue 1 was where he was thriving the most in his career, in his very young career still. How do you feel about the move?
I mean, I think it's like you said, for playtime going into a World Cup year. Like at this point, any U.S. player I want to see at a club that they're going to be playing the majority of the minutes. And I think they all know that. And I mean, Pochettino very well might have said, if you're not playing, you're not going. So, like, it goes in line with a couple other moves I think we've talked about this summer. And it's just, I like it because I'm hopeful that he will start, consistently playing 90 minutes. And hopefully he has a good season. Like you said, he's had success in this league, so it does scream to me though, like this is a let's get to our best going into the World Cup, because that's on everyone's mind, especially because it's in the United States. And that's kind of like all I'm focused on when it comes to a lot of these US players is just and I think it's true. Like I think Pochettino's said it plenty of times. Like we'll bring in the people who are playing. I don't care where they're playing, but I mean we saw with Matt Turner, he basically lost his spot. So
we've seen it, and it makes sense. And I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna you collected that very well.
Thank you.
Quick Cup update. So Canadian Championship, we mentioned it to start. Vancouver Whitecaps, they are away at Forge FC today on the 13th. They are currently tied 2-2 in the 75th minute in the first leg. Second leg is September 16th in Vancouver. And then the other semifinal matchup is Vancouver FC, the new Canadian Premier League side, playing Atletico Ottawa. So
I want a Vancouver derby.
I would love a Vancouver derby in the Canadian Championship final. That is the thing of absolute U.S. soccer. Well, sorry, that's Canadian soccer dreams. The U.S. Open Cup.
It's still postponed.
Still postponed.
It's still weather delay.
Union Red Bulls. If this game is played tonight or ever, the winner will face Nashville SC on September 16th for that semifinal game. And just as a reminder, the other semifinal is Minnesota versus Austin FC. Jason, Leagues Cup. We have.
Wait.
Yeah. Sorry, did I skip over something that you?
So this is not. Wait. I think my brain broke a little bit. The Union versus the Red Bulls is a quarterfinal.
Yes.
The winner plays Nashville,
in the
who's just waiting for them. And then the winner plays. Yeah, okay. Minnesota versus Austin is the semi. Okay. Yeah, because it got postponed. I'm sorry. My brain broke a little bit.
I love when people sometimes probably only listen to this. If you just listen, go to YouTube and get to this point. I love when Jason's brain just like breaks.
It just shut down for a second because I was like, how are there this many teams left?
It is my favorite. My favorite. All right, Leagues Cup. We were talking last week about all the who can make it, what can make it, all that fun stuff. We have the quarterfinal matchups for Leagues Cup. Inter Miami versus Tigres in Miami. Toluca versus Orlando City in LA. Seattle Sounders versus Puebla in Seattle. And the LA Galaxy versus Pachuca in Los Angeles. The winner of Sounders Puebla will face the winner of Galaxy Pachuca. And then the winner of Toluca Orlando will play the winner of Miami Tigres. Jason, what are your high-level Leagues Cup thoughts, because I don't know if you and I are going to talk again before these games get played.
I'm curious to see how the Galaxy play, because apparently the Galaxy in Leagues Cup and the Galaxy in MLS are entirely different teams.
Galaxy playing Mexican clubs? It's the 2024 Galaxy, okay?
Yeah. I will say it was funny to see Miami play Orlando and Seattle play LA this weekend when they're all the four teams that made it.
Yeah. With two monster shutouts in the
I'm trying to figure if I'm like, obviously only four teams made it for each league, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm like content with these four. I guess like I am. It's weird because the Galaxy are now all in on this tournament. They have to be. This is like if they win the Leagues Cup, like that's a success for them.
They're back in Champions League next year, baby. That's it.
It's actually crazy, but I'm really interested in another Miami versus Orlando game.
Yeah, that would
for
be
obvious reasons. And then Seattle, like I've been high on for a long time. So I feel like I'm pretty happy with the MLS teams that made it. I do feel like Portland kind of got done dirty with how well they played.
Yeah. Portland and Columbus got screwed.
Columbus, I read, was the only team to play 2 of the teams that made it in the knockout.
And I think like it was like something like 2 of the MLS teams that made it played like the same 2.
I think it was the
Galaxy and
2 and 2 is like the 2. I don't know what 2. It's like Galaxy.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's Galaxy and Seattle played the same 2 Mexican teams, and like Miami and Orlando also did, or something. Like it goes back to kind of what I was trying to say, and I don't think
you were correct last.
I don't think I did a good job of saying it, but like it sort of was still groups, even though it wasn't. Like it was a league table, but it was still groups because you only got to play 3 teams. So whoever got to play the shitty 3 teams, like Columbus, like we're saying, they really got screwed over because they got 2 of the 4 best Mexican teams, and still should have almost made it. So like if Columbus played the same teams as Miami, like they would have probably had a crazy goal differential and moved on.
I don't need to go down another Leagues Cup conversation.
I don't want to either, but like I just feel like I didn't say it correctly, and I don't know if I still am saying it correctly, but I do think like the system needs more work because it doesn't seem fair. But at the same time, I do feel like I'm pretty much fine with the teams that made it.
I went back to our episode last week and I listened, and I think you absolutely nailed it. So I'm going to give you all the
Thank
credit.
you.
You nailed it in terms of with the current format, it sucks. You know, knowing how we know these things go, the format will change, probably suck even more. But
it's also like if your second game is against a Mexican team that lost their first game, they just write in a win. Like Seattle beat who did they beat 7-0? I can't remember.
Was it? I got it. Hang on.
But anyways, like my point is, if whatever MLS team played that team next had like the easiest. I mean, I don't remember. They might have won their next game, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're out of it, what incentive do you have? Cincinnati had no. Did they win their third game?
Cruz Azul lost their first game 7-0 in Leagues Cup, and then
that was the first one.
That was the first game.
Okay.
Then they drew 1-1 against the Galaxy, then drew 2-2 against the Rapids.
Okay, so they actually competed, but
I mean, they could have completely threw it in, but yes.
But like Cincinnati, I feel like kind of lost their first game and was like,
yeah.
And like, is that fun? Like, watching
York,
like 3 teams by the end.
New York City got embarrassed in their first game. Second game somehow got a result against Lyon. I mean, that was all fucking Matt Freeze. But still, to your point, I think the competition format now makes it very easy for clubs to give up almost immediately, even if they get a draw, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still like you can almost give up.
Well, I think if you get a draw in the first game, you should definitely not give up.
Well, no, if you get a draw in the first game and lose the PK shootout and you're starting at 1 point, there's a good chance you don't make it through, even if you get.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, I wonder what the lowest point total to make it through was. I didn't look, but I mean, we've established that it needs a little bit of work, but I am still kind of excited about these 4 games.
I just said we're not going to have a Leagues Cup talk, and we just did a Leagues Cup talk. Classic us. But yes, I'm excited. I'm rooting for all 4 MLS sides. I'd like to see another competition just dominated, another Leagues Cup specifically, just dominated by MLS clubs. And
I mean, they're still all in MLS stadiums for the most part.
The only team that's not in their home city is Orlando City, who do have to travel to play the reigning Liga MX champs across the country. So Orlando really going to
where do they have to play?
LA.
Why?
Because that's where Toluca is home based for this competition.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's fair, but it's just
Toluca's
weird.
home stadium for this competition is Los Angeles. So
All right, well, move on.
Whatever.
We'll see what happens. It'll
Go
be good
MLS.
games.
Go
Yeah.
MLS. Yay! Give me Orlando, Miami, please. And that is that. And speaking of Orlando, Miami,
Yeah, we need to talk about this game.
let's talk about match day 28. Orlando City hosted Inter Miami. No Messi, and Orlando fans were definitely letting you know that Lionel Messi was not playing again.
Has never played against Orlando.
Yeah, ever.
Nor has Miami ever beaten Orlando in their history.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. I mean, that's what I
wild.
saw. They're like 0-7 and some draws. I don't know.
I mean, I know someone's winning the soccer competition down.
Well, now I really want to confirm that.
You might have been lying, but Orlando City dominated on Sunday Night Soccer 4-1. Luis Muriel put in one of his best performances for Orlando City ever. 2 goals and an assist. Martino Ojeda with a goal and an assist. Alex Freeman looked super strong at right back. Orlando City now on a 6-game undefeated streak and absolutely embarrassed Inter Miami with no Lionel Messi.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Miami, you have to look at your defense and start to question if you can actually win a trophy with this current back line because it's so bad. Like, I honestly should have just like watched all these goals again because they're all very, very nice. But I think that second Luis Muriel goal is like the simplest, like
yeah.
I mean, actually, both goals are just like passes straight through, like the defensive line. Almost all of them are just through balls where it's like the Miami defenders are like once like they have to like process it and then move. That's how it feels watching this team because there were so many times where it's just another chance on goal. Oh, another chance. Oh, like. I mean, Luis Muriel could have had 2 goals in like 4 minutes.
Luis Muriel probably should have had more than 2 goals in this game.
Well, yeah, should have hit that header, but
Inter Miami, like the entire defense, whether it's Maxi Falcone, whether it's Noah Allen, whether it's David Martinez, whether it's the
Falcone is bad, man, bad. I'm out here to say, I'll say it. That's crazy.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying no matter who the center back or the fullback is, the amount of ball watching that goes on is ridiculous.
I mean, that one, I think it was the 3rd goal where Muriel just kind of like pinged it over to Ojeda. And it was like, how? How was he not offside? He was so free.
It looks like the Inter Miami back line is sitting on the couch with me watching the game. Like that's that's seriously.
And in their defense, I think Orlando is playing at maybe the highest confidence I've seen in attacking group.
This is not.
Come on. Like we have to give I'm not trying to defend some of the like defending from Miami because it's just like they're just not reacting. Like half the time they're actually just not reacting. But
what I was going to say is this is more than just Inter Miami versus Orlando issue. This is the same Inter Miami we've seen all season long. It's awful defending.
This is the same Miami that allowed in Club World Cup 2 goals in like 3 minutes.
Literally. But I think you and I were texting and I made the joke of like it watching Miami, even if Messi was on the field, it's like you need to watch until the final minute, not because Messi's on the field, because it's like how many goals is this Miami back line going to allow in the final 10 minutes of the game? Because every single game they play, in every competition they've played, they do it, and it's awful. I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't even like the final 10 minutes. It was the whole game. I mean, I guess they did allow a goal in the 88th minute, but like it was the whole game. Like this could have been worse than 4-1.
Yeah.
I mean, also, what a save by Gaese on that Suarez shot. There were a couple. I don't know, man. That game. I mean, this game was really fun to watch. Like I thoroughly enjoyed this being like the Sunday night soccer game because it was actually epic. But Miami, like I personally don't think Miami is this is gonna. I feel like I'm gonna get shit for this, but like,
Give it to me.
I don't think they're on the level of like Cincinnati, Orlando, Columbus, Nashville.
Can I just
Philly.
say, I think you insert Lionel Messi into the lineup, and they are.
Yeah, I mean,
I
good point.
hate
Well,
to just
because in this, he just makes up for the fact that
exactly.
their defense is that bad. But like, if the season ended,
Yeah.
and you had, let's say, first round matchup Miami versus Columbus, I'm not confident Miami's winning that.
No, I'm not sitting, especially.
I mean, I guess it's stupid because obviously Columbus is very good. But like, I mean, any of these teams, like, if the season ended, they'd play Nashville. Maybe.
I think the top six. I mean, there's a few different things to break down. One, Miami still has like 3 games in hand, so they can shoot up that Eastern Conference real quick. But 2, the top 6.
They literally could be tied with Philly on points if they win those 3 games in hand.
Exactly. The top 6 in the Eastern Conference are the class of Major League Soccer right now. So I think any matchup.
I think with Charlotte's form too, I would be afraid to play them.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of hard on Charlotte, and they've had an up and down season, but I'm sure we'll get to that game too. But like, you could argue that the 7 teams in the East are the top 7 teams in the league.
Top 8. Top 8.
No. That's I don't even know if we can put Charlotte in the top 7. I think you could argue top 6 teams in the East are the top 6 teams in the league.
I fully agree with you. I mean, maybe no.
I would just say you can argue it. Like if you want to say I mean, based on where San Diego is, or I don't know. I don't think Vancouver currently is better than a lot of those teams. I don't think Minnesota currently is.
I think Seattle is.
I think Seattle is, and I think LAFC could be.
Yeah.
But I personally think you could make the argument that the top 6 in the East right now are the top 6 teams in the league.
I think that is fair, sir. And I think I'm going to go to the West. And so on the notes, just for your sake, Jason, I ordered them in the most interesting, like from top to bottom, most interesting to least interesting. So
I would have put a different game ahead, but I agree. I'm fine.
If you disagree, it's totally fine. But
I mean, I just think that Cincinnati Charlotte game was also incredible.
I mean, that was a tough pull. So,
yeah, but I'm fine with it. I mean, I think is it really an interesting game if it's the Galaxy losing by a ton of goals in MLS play?
So that's why I'll make it quick and just saying Galaxy Seattle. We already said it, right? Sounders blew out the Galaxy in LA. It was a Danny Musovski brace. It was a great defensive performance from the Seattle Sounders. The Sounders are moving up to 4th in the West, 41 points through 25 games. Yeah. The only thing I really wanted to say is that this Sounders team right now, like, scares me. Like, they are
in a great way.
An opposing team, I'm scared of the Seattle Sounders with how everything's clicking. Pedro de la Vega's on a whole other level right now. Christian Roldan's been fantastic all season long. Like, the Seattle Sounders, I think, I know we talked last week of like who's the best in the West. I think it's the Seattle Sounders right now.
I honestly feel like I said that.
I'm not saying you didn't say it.
I think the Sounders are very good. I think they've built off. I mean, this is one game since Leagues Cup, but they've definitely carried their Leagues Cup form through. I think, honestly, if you score 7 goals in any game, there's no way you're not extremely confident from then on, right? Like, and especially with the way that De La Vega scored that 7th goal, like. This is the Seattle I kind of thought we were going to get. Maybe it showed up a little bit later, but they're not a team I'd want to play in the playoffs. If I'm in the West, I'm avoiding Seattle.
I think you and I openly said in the offseason, if Pedro de la Vega hits the level that, he was the $7 million signing for, then the Seattle Sounders are possibly the scariest team in MLS. And guess what? He hit that level, and he's hit that level.
Guess who picked them to win MLS Cup?
There you go, Jason.
I did have to confirm it, actually.
Pat yourself on the back there, buddy. That's all you got.
I did, yeah. MLS Cup. I mean, I can't pat myself on the back. They haven't won shit yet.
Well, if they win Leagues Cup, then
you have them winning Leagues Cup.
Do I? That's fucking.
I just looked. Yeah, you have them winning Leagues Cup. I had Atlanta United. Oh my goodness.
Let's go past me. That's fun. Were Atlanta even in Leagues Cup? Yeah, they were. I'm joking.
That would be so bad.
FC Cincinnati versus Charlotte FC. Charlotte shuts out Cincinnati in Cincinnati off of a late red card. Or sorry, it was an early red card. Late winner from Wilfried Zaha.
Wasn't the red card in the second half?
Was it? And I'm just making that up.
I swear it was in the second half.
See, I go on these runs and then you just completely just shut me down with it.
Well, because I remember thinking, how is Cincinnati?
It was a 70th minute red card. I apologize.
Yeah, it was because the reason I remember is because while I was watching this game, I was like, Cincinnati should be winning 3-0. Like Christian Kalina, and this is why I wanted to talk about it because Christian Kalina literally was in. This might have been one of his best games I've personally seen.
I think he made 8 saves or something like that.
And a lot of them were tough saves, like really tough saves.
Well, there's a reason why he's reigning goalkeeper of the year. The only thing I want to say about me mixing up the red card there, I watched about 100 red cards in Leagues Cup. I don't know when the red card was.
I mean, hey, no shame in mixing up the time.
No. I have shame, Jason. I have shame. The only thing I quickly wanted to say, Wilfried Zaha now has a goal contribution, 9 straight games for Charlotte FC. He's picking it up. And
I think he has a goal in 5 straight.
He wants his teammates to play at a better level. And I personally, there's Wilfried Zaha comments and actions that I'm like, you can't excuse. Him openly saying he is visibly frustrated on the field because he knows his team can play better. I'm for that. That's cool.
I think he needs a little bit of media training to just say things in a better way, but I rarely disagree with what he's saying. And I truly appreciate the fact that he clearly cares a ton about about this team in this league. So he's putting his all into it and it's starting to show. I think, and I feel like I've personally been harsh on Charlotte for a lot of this season. I mean,
which has been fair, I still think.
And then they kind of were not living up to him, but in their last few games, 7 games, I don't know, they've been really good and slowly moving up the table.
And I will say this has also been with Pep Biel being out injured, which is huge that they're getting results. And
and getting results against Cincinnati in Cincinnati, where I think their road record is not good. Charlotte's 4-9. So
that's a big 3 points. And look, it's just as much as it's a big 3 points for Charlotte, it is a big 3 points missed for Cincinnati.
It's a big 3 points for Columbus too, sitting there without losing any points in Miami and Cincy dropped.
Yeah, and Philly
dropped, and Nashville dropped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is the Supporter Shield race is tight in 2025, and this is a game. If you're FC Cincinnati and you really want to win the Supporter Shield, you gotta win. At home. There's no excuse.
Well, and it's tough. I know there's a lot of people who were upset about the red card. I think if you watch it again, if you see, I think the people in the stadium didn't get the right replays because they just stepped straight on. I personally think it's a red card. I get the people who were like, well, there was a foul that sort of put him off balance, but I feel like that foul was a little soft, if we're calling that. It's a red card, and it's a bummer because I do think Cincinnati probably wins this. I don't know because Christian Kalina was insane, but
I mean, look, this game had the complete vibe of 0-0.
Yeah, and it really changed after that red card. And that hurt Cincinnati a ton. If they have Kevin Denke in this game for the full 90 minutes, though, they probably win this game.
I also want to give a quick shout out in this one to Toklamati, the Charlotte striker that's stepped in post Patrick Agyemang. He's been fantastic. 6 goals, 2 assists on the season, 7-2 in all comps. He's been a really nice step up in the replacement for Agyemang. And I know Charlotte just signed a striker, right? So a little competition, all good stuff there. But Toklamati's been fun and impressive and has connected well with Wilfried Zaha for sure. So,
look, if this team was in the West, they'd be in the top 4.
if Charlotte was a Western Conference team, I agree they would be the best in the West. Just as
best, I don't know. Seattle exists.
Sure, you're right. You're right.
We just spent a ton of time talking about them.
My brain moves on really quickly, Jason. Okay. Vancouver Whitecaps drew 2-2 with Forge FC. So really not exciting second half there. And we have a kickoff time for Union Red Bulls, 9:35 Eastern.
Oh yeah, live events starting soon.
There you go.
Oh my
For
god,
a whole
35 minutes.
30 minutes. Chicago Fire, LAFC. I feel like this is the last big game to really dive
agreed.
into.
A lot of the others were kind of.
They were important. They were fun, but like not as maybe impactful to the rest of the league.
I'm just like the Fire need to figure out how to close games. Like years and years of my life have been lost watching this team blow leads.
Can we just talk about the Heung-min Son debut and piss off probably?
I don't want to make people angry, man.
No, that's pissing him off.
No, I mean I
He didn't score. He sucks, and he's one of the worst Premier League players of all time.
Oh my God! Don't say it.
It was, I think, a fantastic debut, short of him getting a goal contribution. Right? He subs into the. I
mean, you could argue he should get a goal contribution, right?
There's an argument he should have taken the PK, but whatever. He subs into the game.
I feel like if you have a guy who's taking your PKs in Bouanga, who's very, very good, you don't just bring it like. No, don't get mad at me, some fans, but I think that'd be crazy to just be like, no, he's doing it now.
I think that's fair. I think, right, like Son is the new player on the team, right? Denny Bouanga's been the leader, the star of this team for forever. He shouldn't just step in and take that over. But I agree. So he subs into the game in the 61st. Looks like he's playing a striker role for LAFC, which I don't hate. He gets on the counter attack and he gets taken down in the box by Carlos Terán. Bouanga steps up, takes the PK late, converts it, gets the point on the road. Right away, he's already getting a road point.
Yeah, I think you nailed it when you said this guy's going to be a problem. And obviously we know he's very good. Like it's not, oh man, I feel like these people don't understand.
But bro, Carlos Terán trying to defend Heung-min Son on the counter.
Don't talk shit about my boy Terán. I love him.
He looked like me trying to defend Heung-min Son on the counter. And no disrespect, Carlos, you probably would kill me.
Like we were talking about Son, like he won a trophy last year, a big trophy. Like it's not. This isn't like a guy coming in. Like when Schweinsteiger came to the Fire, and even then that was pretty exciting. But like. Yeah. I don't feel like this. Maybe we didn't talk about it enough. Like how big of a move this was. Like maybe we didn't do it. Maybe they're right. Honestly, like.
Jason, you're giving into the haters. No, we talked about it enough.
If the haters are engaging, let's engage.
I've taken
that video got 140 some views.
Yeah. Heung-min Son, just say his name over and over again. Maybe it just drives more.
Yeah, let the algorithm get to it.
I will just say, Heung-min Son probably dreams of hitting the levels of Philip Zinkernagel in MLS.
Dude, this man is amazing.
He's a problem.
They said Jonathan Bamba, and we said Philip Zinkernagel.
Zinkernagel, 2 assists in this game. He's up to 19 goal contributions in MLS and 20 in all competitions. I did not come into 2025 thinking Philip Zinkernagel would have 20 goal contributions for the Chicago Fire, but here we are.
Did anyone? And Show me the person who did. Honestly,
maybe Philip Zinkernagel's wife. Maybe. I'll throw that out there. Heung-min Son can only dream.
DP who?
The only other thing that I wanted.
Heung-min Son is gonna have probably 12 goal contributions.
I can't wait for the hat trick this weekend, and I just.
What do you think the over/under should be for these 10 games?
Goal contributions or
13, 14?
No, he's
too many.
He's not getting double-digit goal contributions in the.
You would be surprised if he, but I wouldn't be.
I'm gonna say,
dude, this is an LAFC team that's good.
Can I say?
It's not like he's going to get 10 goal contributions on Dallas.
He's coming off a preseason. Can I say he's going to have 8 goal contributions?
You said it would be crazy if he gets double digits, and you say 8. So
okay,
you're
6. 6. I'll give 6.
I'm going to go 11.
Okay. That's fine. I'm fine with it. We'll see. We'll see who's right. The only other thing that I
We're
wanted
gonna totally forget we even did this.
100%. I mean, my brain, I forgot that I said the Sounders were good. Okay.
Yeah, Charlotte would be the best team in the West right now.
If
Seattle
anyone,
just existing. LAFC with Son.
if anyone wants to hate on my memory, it's fine. My wife would probably agree with you. So, this is where we're at. The only last thing I wanted to say about match day 28, Matt Turner's return to the Revolution, 3-save shutout win over DC. Carlos Hill had a goal and an assist, and now is the Revs' all-time goal contribution leader, passing Taylor Twellman. So just a shout-out to Carlos Hill and Matt Turner in a pretty big, not big in terms
I respect Carlos Hill, man, for staying there for all this time.
Bro,
it's actually crazy.
A legend. He's an absolute Revs legend. That's it.
If you're a Revs fan, you absolutely have to love this man.
If I'm a Revs...
He was there. They won everything, right? They broke records. Yeah. He stayed through the shitstorm, and he's still there.
Yeah, and he's still doing it.
Yeah, and he's still very good. And
he's won a Supporter Shield and an MVP. He's the club's all-time goal contribution leader. He's been the only good thing on this club since the club fell apart. Just shout out Carlos Hill. Let's give him some love.
Doesn't get enough credit, honestly.
He doesn't.
MLS circles.
And we don't talk about him enough either.
No, we're part of the problem.
Yeah, we suck.
Okay, wait. I like the Revs. I've been on the Rev bandwagon. I'm here for the Revs resurgence.
I've been shitting.
Let's see. What did we predict? I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up right now. Okay. Oh, no. It wasn't great.
So
never mind.
Look, the Revs are not making the playoffs.
I had them in 10th. You had them in 11th. And they're currently in 11th. So
yes.
We maybe nailed this, honestly.
All right. We were right about the Revs. All right, Jason. Let's finish up. Give me your game of the weekend on Saturday. Give me your game of the weekend on Sunday, and we'll let these listeners and viewers get the hell on out of here.
All right, Saturday. Let's take a peek. Well, I think it's probably going to be Minnesota United versus Seattle.
Yeah.
Do I have to explain? Good team versus good team. Seattle goes against a Minnesota team coming off of a loss to Colorado. I think Seattle, I guess they're going away to Minnesota, so that actually makes it more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I'm going to just toss out really quick. Red Bulls Union again. Let's go. Give me more. Give me as many Red Bull Union.
Why do I feel like this has happened a bunch this year, where it's like teams play each other and then they play each other again?
The Red Bulls and the Union just play each other 15 times a year.
Oh, this was like the last time where the game got postponed and we were like, just count that one as double. So if this got postponed, we could have just done it again. Why would they do that?
The Red Bull Union double. That's
the world is forcing it, honestly. Yeah.
And it looks like the Red Bulls are playing an entire B team for this quarterfinal game. That's great.
I will say, I think my Sunday game, the Sunday games aren't as fun as I wanted them to be.
There's a fun game. I don't know.
The San versus San.
The what? No.
No, I think NYCFC versus Nashville would be my fun one. But I think we'd probably be thinking Vancouver.
I like all of the Sunday games.
I don't love any of the Sunday games, but I think all of them will be fun games.
Sunday games are sneaky fun. NYCFC Nashville. You have San Jose, San Diego.
That was the one I said San versus San.
No, I didn't get it at first, but
Beach versus Beach. The Beach Derby.
It is the NoCal versus SoCal, but Super SoCal Derby. And then Vancouver, Houston. I still think the Houston Dynamo can make the playoffs.
Yeah, I would love it if they started performing like a better team.
Sure. But maybe that starts with Vancouver on the weekend. Jack McGlynn did have a brace.
It's got to start pretty soon.
Jack McGlynn had a brace. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Listeners, viewers, thank you for hanging with us for an hour and 15. Jason, thank you, sir. And we will talk to you guys next week when we have maybe a clearer picture of all these competitions and MLS.
Shouldn't we have the semifinals for Leagues Cup?
And the semifinals for the Open Cup. Confirmed.
Oh, it's pouring there.
They're
out there, but it's pouring.
We will see if it gets played. Maybe they play like a doubleheader back-to-back.
Why can't they just count the game as two? It would be so much fun. The world wants that.
All right. Listeners, thank you guys again. We will talk to you guys next week.